There exists a profound amnesia at the heart of human experience, a forgetting so complete that we mistake shadows for substance, reflections for reality. You were born into this world carrying an ancient knowing, yet somewhere along the journey of growing up, you learned to identify with the temporary and overlook the eternal. This is not your fault. It is the collective trance of humanity passed down through generations like an invisible inheritance. Consider for a moment the last time you looked into a mirror. What did you see? Most likely you saw a face, a body, perhaps noting changes brought by time. But the mirror was showing you something far more mysterious than flesh and bone. It was reflecting the very awareness that was looking back at itself. The eyes you were gazing into are not who you are. They are the windows through which the infinite peers out into its own creation. Yet we have learned to identify with the window rather than the vastness that looks through it. This forgetting begins early. As children, we naturally lived in wonder, experiencing each moment as fresh and alive. A butterfly was not merely an insect, but pure magic unfolding. A sunset was not a predictable atmospheric phenomenon, but a daily miracle painting itself across the sky. Somewhere in the process of education and socialization, we traded this direct experience for concepts, this immediacy for memory, this presence for the constant mental commentary about presence. The world conspires to maintain this illusion. Every advertisement whispers that you are incomplete. Every news cycle suggests that suffering is permanent. Every achievement implies that fulfillment exists somewhere other than here and now. You begin to believe that you are your thoughts, your emotions, your history, your plans for the future. You identify with the content of consciousness rather than consciousness itself, like a movie screen believing it is the film being projected upon it. But what if this entire framework is backwards? What if you are not a body having occasional spiritual experiences, but rather an eternal presence temporarily wearing the costume of human form? What if the very awareness reading these words right now is the same awareness that beats your heart, grows your fingernails, and orchestrates the incomprehensible complexity of cellular regeneration while you sleep? Take 3 conscious breaths right now. Feel the air entering your nostrils, filling your lungs, then gently releasing. Notice that something is aware of this breathing. This awareness is not produced by the brain. It is the field in which the brain appears. It is not created by thought. It is the space in which thoughts arise and dissolve. This awareness has been with you since birth, unchanged by every experience you have ever had. It was present in childhood wonder and teenage confusion, in moments of joy and periods of sorrow. It is the one constant in a life of endless change. The great spiritual traditions have pointed to this truth using different languages, but they speak of the same recognition. The Vedas call it Satchitananda, existence, consciousness, bliss. If you want a loving relationship, connect with the love that you already are. If you desire financial abundance, attune to the prosperity consciousness that is your natural state. If you seek healing, rest in the wholeness that exists beyond all symptoms. Set your intention not as a request to the universe, but as a declaration of what you choose to embody. Feel into the energy of already being what you wish to become. This is not positive thinking or visualization. It is a fundamental shift in identity from seeker to finder, from someone who lacks to someone who overflows. From this state of being, right action arises naturally, and the quantum field responds by collapsing possibilities that match your internal frequency. Release your intention into the silence that follows your declaration. Trust that the universe has heard not just your words, but the vibrational essence behind them. Know that what is truly aligned with your highest good is already on its way to you, perhaps in forms that exceed what your mind could have imagined. This is the art of sacred intention, planting seeds of consciousness and allowing the intelligence of life itself to determine the timing and manner of their flowering. In the space between one heartbeat and the next, in the pause between inhalation and exhalation, in the gap between one thought and another, there exists a doorway to the infinite. These moments of natural stillness are not empty spaces to be filled, but sacred intervals where the deepest healing and understanding naturally arise. Most of us rush past these gaps in our eagerness to get to the next experience, missing the profound peace that is always available in the present moment. Your breath offers continuous invitations into this healing silence. Each time you exhale completely and pause before the next inhalation, you enter a space that exists outside of time. In that power, see, there is no past to regret and no future to anxiety about. There is only the pure presence that you are. This is not a meditation technique, but a recognition of what is already occurring thousands of times each day, waiting for your attention and appreciation. The silence between heartbeats is where your nervous system naturally resets and rebalances. In these micro moments of stillness, your body receives permission to release held tension and return to its baseline state of ease. Your mind, constantly generating thoughts and processing information, finds brief respites where it can rest in the spaciousness of pure awareness. These gaps are not interruptions in the flow of life. They are the very source from which life continuously springs. As you attune to these natural pauses, you begin to discover that silence is not the absence of sound, but the presence of something more fundamental than sound. It is not emptiness, but fullness, the pregnant void from which all experience emerges and to which it returns. This silence has texture and depth. It is alive with potential, vibrating with the same creative force that birthed galaxies and composes symphonies. In states of deep meditation or contemplation, these gaps begin to expand. What starts as a brief pause between thoughts extends into moments of pure being, then into sustained periods of transcendent awareness. You discover that consciousness itself is like a vast ocean of silence, and thoughts are merely waves playing on its surface. The more you rest in this silence, the more you realize it is not something you enter, but something you are. This recognition transforms your relationship with activity and rest, with doing and being. You no longer need to escape from the world to find peace. You discover the peace that exists at the heart of every moment, available even in the midst of intense activity. The silence travels with you, accessible whenever you remember to pause and listen for it beneath the surface noise of daily life. Right now, allow your breathing to slow and deepen. After your next exhale, pause for just a moment before breathing in again. In that pause, notice the quality of aliveness that exists in stillness. Feel how your entire being settles into a deeper rhythm when you honor these natural spaces between breaths. This is not something you create, but something you allow, not a practice you master, but a gift you receive. Extend this same quality of attention to other natural pauses in your day, the moment between waking and getting out of bed, the space between finishing one task and beginning another, the interval between hearing a question and formulating your response. These are all opportunities to touch the silence that heals, to remember the peace that requires no external conditions, to rest in the awareness that you are beyond all the temporary experiences that move through your life. Let the silence teach you its secrets. In its depths, you will find not emptiness, but the source of all fullness, not absence, but the presence that makes all other presences possible. This is where true healing occurs, not through adding something new, but through removing what is unnecessary, allowing what has always been perfect to reveal itself once again. The deepest spiritual realization is also the most practical. You are not a human being having occasional spiritual experiences, but consciousness itself temporarily expressing through human form. This understanding is not meant to remain as a beautiful philosophy, but to transform how you navigate every aspect of your daily existence. When you truly know yourself as consciousness, ordinary life becomes extraordinary, not because circumstances change, but because the one experiencing the circumstances has awakened to their true nature. Living as consciousness means recognizing that awareness is the primary reality and everything else, thoughts, emotions, sensations, circumstances, are secondary appearances within that awareness. This does not diminish the relative importance of your human experience, but places it within a much larger context. You begin to see that your thoughts are not personal possessions, but universal patterns moving through the field of consciousness. Your emotions are not individual problems, but cosmic energies seeking expression and integration. This shift in perspective brings profound freedom from the suffering that comes from taking everything personally. When challenging emotions arise, instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" you can ask, "What is this energy trying to express through me?" When difficult circumstances present themselves, rather than seeing yourself as a victim, you can recognize yourself as the space in which all experiences unfold, inherently unharmed by any temporary appearance. The practical application of this understanding begins with how you start each day. Instead of immediately identifying with the character of your life, your name, your roles, your responsibilities, your problems, you can take a few moments to remember what you are beneath all identities. Feel into the aware presence that was there before you took on the costume of your personality, that will remain when all roles are completed, that is equally present in success and failure, health and illness, youth and old age. Throughout your day, you can practice living from this deeper identity. When someone speaks to you, you can listen not just with your mind, but with the awareness that recognizes itself in every other being. When you encounter beauty, a sunset, a piece of music, a child's laughter, you can receive it not just as external pleasure, but as consciousness delighting in its own creative expression. When faced with challenges, you can meet them not as personal obstacles, but as opportunities for consciousness to explore its own resilience and creativity. This way of living does not make you detached or otherworldly. If anything, it makes you more present, more engaged, more capable of authentic response. When you know yourself as consciousness, you naturally care for the form through which consciousness is expressing your body, your relationships, your environment, but without the desperate attachment that eats suffering. You love more deeply because you love from wholeness rather than need. The practical mysticism of everyday awakening also involves recognizing the sacred in the mundane. Washing dishes becomes a meditation on the flowing nature of existence. Sitting in traffic becomes an opportunity to practice patience and presence. Having a difficult conversation becomes a chance to see if you can remain centered in awareness even when your personality is challenged. Every moment offers the possibility of choosing to respond from your true nature rather than from conditioned patterns. Begin right now to experiment with this shift in identity. Instead of thinking, "I am reading these words," try, "Awareness is reading these words through this form I call myself." Notice how this subtle change in perspective creates space around your experience. Instead of "I am feeling anxious," try "anxiety is arising in the field of my awareness." Feel how this creates distance from the emotion without denying its presence. As you practice living as consciousness, you may notice that many of the problems that once seemed insurmountable begin to resolve themselves naturally. This is not because the external circumstances necessarily change, but because the one who was experiencing them as problems has expanded beyond the limited perspective that created the sense of being overwhelmed. What seemed like personal dramas are revealed to be temporary weather patterns in the vast sky of your being. You also discover that living as consciousness is not an achievement you attain, but a recognition you return to moment by moment. Some days the illusion of separation will feel very real, and you will find yourself caught up in the drama of personality. This is not failure, it is simply consciousness exploring what it feels like to forget itself. With gentle humor and infinite patience, you can always return to what you are, as many times as necessary, knowing that awareness itself is never actually lost, only temporarily overlooked. What happens when you finally stop looking for yourself in the places you are not? What happens when you cease trying to find lasting satisfaction in temporary experiences, permanent identity in changing circumstances, absolute truth in relative appearances? What remains when the search for meaning gives way to the recognition that you are meaning itself, when the quest for love dissolves into the understanding that you are love, when the longing for peace ends in the realization that you are peace? The great illusion is not that the world exists. The world is a magnificent display of consciousness exploring its own creative potential. The illusion is that you are separate from this display, that you are a fragment looking for wholeness rather than wholeness appearing as a fragment. Every spiritual practice, every moment of meditation, every experience of love or beauty or transcendence is consciousness recognizing itself, the ocean discovering that it was never actually divided into separate waves. This recognition does not happen through accumulating more experiences or achieving more advanced states of consciousness. It happens through the simple seeing that what you have been seeking has been present all along as the very one who is seeking. The aware presence reading these words right now is the same presence that has been with you since birth, that dreams your dreams and wakes from sleep, that loves through your heart and knows through your mind. It is not located in time or space because it is the dimension in which time and space appear. When this seeing occurs, it is often accompanied by profound laughter, not because anything is funny, but because the cosmic joke is revealed. You have been looking everywhere for what you are, like someone frantically searching for their glasses while wearing them. The divine has been playing hide and seek with itself, pretending to be lost so it could experience the joy of being found. The seeker and the sought have always been one movement of consciousness exploring its own infinite nature. This does not mean your human experience becomes irrelevant or that your individual journey stops mattering. Rather, your personal story is revealed to be one beautiful note in an infinite symphony, one unique expression of the same consciousness that appears as every other being, every flower, every star. Your pain was real, your growth was real, your love was real, but now they are seen in context as movements within an unchanging awareness that was never actually threatened by any experience. The end of illusion is not the end of experience, but the beginning of experience without the overlay of separation. Colors become more vivid when seen through eyes that know they are consciousness looking at consciousness. Relationships deepen when you recognize the same awareness in every being you encounter. Joy becomes more profound when you realize it is your own nature celebrating itself rather than a temporary feeling dependent on circumstances. There is nothing you need to do to be what you are. There is nowhere you need to go to find what you are. There is nothing you need to achieve to become what you have always been. The pathless path leads from here to here, from now to now, from what you are to what you are. The journey of awakening is consciousness coming home to itself through every apparent form, including the form you call your life. Rest now in this recognition. Feel the relief of no longer needing to become someone else, go somewhere else, or wait for some other time to be complete. You are the awareness in which this entire conversation has been appearing, the presence that has been understanding these words, the consciousness that has been recognizing itself throughout this exploration. You are what you have been seeking, disguised as the one who seeks. In the deepest silence of your being, where no thoughts arise and no experiences come and go, you are eternally present as pure awareness itself. This is not a future realization, but your most immediate reality there. Is not a spiritual concept, but the most obvious fact of your existence. You are the light in which all experience appears, the space in which all forms arise, the love that needs no object because it recognizes itself as the very substance of existence. The illusion dissolves not because you do something special, but because you stop doing anything to avoid what is already obvious. You stop looking outside for what can only be found as your own deepest nature. You stop believing in the stories of limitation and separation that have never actually described who you are. You come home to the awareness that has never left home, the consciousness that has been patiently waiting for its own recognition throughout every moment of seeking and finding, losing and discovering, forgetting and remembering. This is the ultimate healing, not the fixing of what is broken, but the recognition that what you truly are has never been broken. This is the final teaching, not information to be learned, but truth to be lived as your very being. This is the end of the journey and the beginning of real life. Consciousness awakening to itself as all that is, was, and ever shall be. The mystics speak of the ground of being. Modern physics describes the unified field from which all particles and forces emerge. They are all pointing toward the same ultimate reality. That which you truly are cannot be found in the mirror of form, but only in the awareness that is looking. Your body carries within it an intelligence so profound that it makes our most advanced computers seem like pocket calculators. Right now, as you read these words, your immune system is producing millions of antibodies tailored to threats it has never encountered. Your nervous system is processing billions of bits of sensory information every second, filtering and organizing them into the seamless experience you call reality. Your endocrine system is releasing precisely calibrated chemical messengers that regulate everything from your sleep cycles to your capacity for love. This intelligence does not consult your thinking mind before performing these miracles. It does not require your permission to heal a cut on your finger or to replace every cell in your body over the course of 7 years. It operates from a wisdom that predates thought, a knowing that emerges from the deepest layers of consciousness itself. This same intelligence that flows through your blood vessels and fires across your neural networks is the very force that spins galaxies and guides migrating birds across thousands of miles of open ocean. Yet we have been conditioned to trust the thinking mind over this deeper wisdom. We believe that happiness comes from acquiring external things, rather than recognizing the peace that is our natural state. We think that healing requires intervention from outside rather than cooperation with the profound intelligence already present within every cell. We imagine that we must figure out our purpose in life rather than allowing life to express its purpose through us. Listen fully to what your body is telling you right now. Place one hand on your heart and feel the steady rhythm that has not missed a beat since you were formed in your mother's womb. This heartbeat is not yours. You are not creating it through effort or will. It is life itself expressing through the form you have learned to call yourself. The blood coursing through your veins carries oxygen and nutrients to every corner of your being, guided by an intelligence that knows exactly where to go and what is needed. Your digestive system is at this moment breaking down complex molecules and transforming them into the building blocks of renewal. Your lymphatic system is quietly removing toxins and cellular debris. Your nervous system is integrating sensory information from thousands of receptors, creating the unified field of experience you call your life. None of this requires your conscious management, yet all of it reflects a wisdom more profound than anything your thinking mind could conceive. This intelligence extends beyond the boundaries of your skin. Your heart generates an electromagnetic field that can be measured 8 feet away from your body. Your brain waves synchronize with the electromagnetic pulse of the earth itself. The bacteria in your gut produce neurotransmitters that influence your mood and decision-making. You are not a separate entity navigating an alien world. You are a localized expression of the same consciousness that animates all of existence. When you begin to recognize this deeper intelligence, something profound shifts in your relationship with health and healing. Instead of treating your body as a machine that occasionally breaks down and requires fixing, you start to partner with the wisdom that is always working toward wholeness. You realize that symptoms are not enemies to be suppressed, but messages from a system that is constantly seeking balance. You understand that healing happens not to you, but through you, as you align your conscious intention with the intelligence that is already guiding every process of renewal. Take a moment to scan your body from head to toe. Notice any areas of tension or discomfort without trying to change anything. Simply acknowledge what is present with the same gentle attention you might offer a beloved friend. This quality of awareness itself begins to shift the energy in your body, creating space for the natural healing response to emerge. Within the landscape of your experience, there exists a witnessing presence that remains untouched by the endless parade of thoughts, emotions, and sensations. This witness is not another experience to be observed. It is the very capacity for observation itself. It is the aware space in which all experience arises, like the sky in which clouds appear and dissolve. Most of us live our entire lives identified with the clouds, the thoughts about what happened yesterday, the emotions triggered by current circumstances, the sensations arising in the body right now. We become so fascinated by the content of our experience that we forget the context in which it all appears. We are like someone watching a movie who becomes so absorbed in the story that they forget they are sitting in a theater, that there is a screen on which the images appear, that there is a projector casting light through space. This witnessing awareness is your true identity. It is not personal in the way your thoughts and emotions feel personal. It is the impersonal ground of all personal experience. It has no history because it exists outside of time. It has no preferences because it is equally present to pleasure and pain, success and failure, clarity and confusion. It is the one aspect of your experience that never changes, never grows old, never becomes sick, never dies. You can verify this for yourself right now. Notice that you are aware of reading these words. Then notice that you are aware of being aware. This capacity for awareness cannot itself be observed because it is the very condition that makes observation possible. It is like trying to see your own eyes without a mirror. The seer cannot be seen because it is the source of seeing itself. When challenging emotions arise, fear, anger, sadness, anxiety, they appear within this aware space like storms arising in a vast sky. The sky is not damaged by the storm. It simply provides the space for the weather to move through. Similarly, your essential nature is not disturbed by emotional turbulence. The fear comes and goes, but that which is aware of fear remains peaceful. The anger flares and subsides, but that which observes anger is never angry. This recognition does not mean you become emotionally numb or spiritually bypassed. Rather, you begin to relate to your emotions differently. Instead of being overwhelmed by them or trying to push them away, you learn to welcome them as temporary visitors in the vast space of your being. You discover that emotions, when met with awareness rather than resistance, naturally release their charge and transform into pure energy. Right now, allow yourself to rest in this witnessing awareness. Simply notice what is present in your experience without trying to change or improve anything. If thoughts are arising, notice the thoughts. If emotions are flowing, acknowledge the emotions. If bodily sensations are present, feel them fully. But notice that something is aware of all of this activity, something that remains perfectly still while everything else moves through it. This witnessing presence is not located in your head or heart or anywhere else in the body. It is the spacious awareness in which the body appears. It is not produced by the brain, though it can observe the brain's activity. It is not created by meditation, though meditation can help you recognize what is already here. It is the most intimate aspect of your being, yet it belongs to no one. It is the closest thing to you, yet it is not separate from the furthest star. From this place of witnessing awareness, you begin to see that most of your suffering comes from identifying with the temporary rather than resting as the eternal. When you believe you are your thoughts, you suffer with every self-critical or fearful thought. When you know you are the awareness in which thoughts appear, you can observe even difficult thoughts with equanimity. When you think you are your emotions, you are tossed about by every mood. When you recognize yourself as the space in which emotions arise, you remain stable even in the midst of emotional intensity. This shift in identity from the observed to the observer is the foundation of all spiritual awakening. It is not something you achieve through effort, it is something you recognize through stillness. It is not a state you enter, it is what you already are beneath every state. The witnessing presence is reading these words right now, understanding them, integrating them into its field of knowing. You are that presence appearing as a human being, awakening to what you have always been. At the most fundamental level of existence, beneath atoms and subatomic particles, beyond the reach of the most powerful microscopes, lies a field of pure potentiality. Quantum physicists call it the unified field, the quantum vacuum, the zero-point field, a realm where matter and energy are revealed to be temporary expressions of something far more mysterious. This is where the magic of manifestation actually occurs, not in the visible world of form, but in the invisible realm of infinite possibility. In this quantum field, everything exists as probability waves, potential realities that have not yet collapsed into definite experience. It is consciousness itself, your very awareness, that serves as the bridge between the possible and the actual. The moment you observe, the moment you turn your attention toward any aspect of reality, you are participating in the cosmic dance of creation. You are not merely witnessing the universe, you are actively collaborating in its unfolding. This is not mystical speculation, but documented scientific fact. The observer effect in quantum mechanics demonstrates that the act of observation fundamentally alters what is being observed. At the quantum level, particles exist in a state of superposition, simultaneously occupying multiple states and locations until the moment they are observed. Your consciousness does not passively receive information about reality. It actively participates in selecting which version of reality will manifest from the field of infinite potential. Consider the implications of this for your daily life. Every moment you are choosing which possibilities to collapse into experience through the quality and direction of your attention. When you repeatedly focus on worry, you are literally selecting worry-based realities from the field of potential. When you consistently attune to gratitude, you are collapsing grateful experiences from the same infinite source. The quantum field is completely neutral. It responds to the vibrational signature of your consciousness without judgment. Your thoughts are not simply private mental events with no impact on the external world. They are frequencies of consciousness that interact with the quantum field, creating interference patterns that shape the probability of various outcomes. When you think a thought repeatedly, you strengthen its vibrational pattern, making it more likely to manifest in your experience. This is why spiritual traditions have always emphasized the importance of mental discipline, not as moral restriction, but as creative responsibility. The process happens through what quantum physicists call entanglement, the mysterious phenomenon where particles that have interacted remain connected regardless of the distance separating them. Your consciousness is entangled with every aspect of your reality. When you shift your internal state, you simultaneously influence the field of possibilities around you. This is not wishful thinking, it is the fundamental mechanics of how consciousness creates reality. Take a moment to feel into this truth. Close your eyes and imagine yourself surrounded by an infinite field of shimmering possibility. Every potential version of your life, every possible healing, every conceivable joy exists right now in this field. Your awareness is like a tuning fork, resonating with certain frequencies and thereby calling them into manifest form. The frequency you emit through your thoughts, emotions, and intentions determines which possibilities become your lived experience. This understanding transforms how you approach any challenge or desire in your life. Instead of struggling against circumstances or trying to force outcomes through willpower alone, you learn to work at the causal level. In the quantum field where all circumstances originate, you begin to recognize that changing your external reality requires first shifting your internal frequency, aligning your consciousness with the outcomes you wish to experience. The bridge between the quantum field and your daily experience is built from the molecules of emotion that your body produces every moment. Your brain is essentially a sophisticated pharmacy manufacturing hundreds of different chemical compounds based on the quality of your thoughts and the nature of your emotional states. Every feeling you experience triggers a cascade of neurochemical activity that literally rewrites your biology at the cellular level. When you feel joy, your brain releases endorphins, serotonin, and dopamine, molecules that not only create pleasurable sensations but also strengthen your immune system, improve cardiovascular function, and enhance cognitive performance. When you experience gratitude, your heart rhythm becomes coherent, creating electromagnetic patterns that optimize communication between your heart and brain. When you feel love, your body produces oxytocin and nitric oxide, chemicals that promote healing and extend lifespan. Conversely, when you experience chronic stress, fear, or resentment, your body floods with cortisol, adrenaline, and inflammatory cytokines. These molecules, designed for short-term survival responses, become toxic when persistently present in your system. They suppress immune function, accelerate aging, and create the biochemical foundation for most chronic diseases. Your emotional state is not just how you feel, it is literally the molecular environment in which your cells must function. This means that every emotion you experience is simultaneously an internal feeling and an external biological event. Your cells are constantly bathing in the chemical consequences of your consciousness. They are receiving molecular messages about the nature of reality based on your interpretations of experience. If you consistently feel unsafe, your cells receive signals to prepare for threat. If you cultivate inner peace, your cells receive instructions to repair and regenerate. Your genes themselves are not fixed blueprints, but responsive instruments that play different melodies based on the chemical signals they receive. The field of epigenetics has revealed that environmental factors, including the environment created by your thoughts and emotions, can activate or silence genetic expression. You are not a victim of your genetic inheritance. You are an active participant in determining which aspects of your genetic potential will be expressed. This gives you tremendous power over your health and well-being, but it also requires you to take responsibility for the emotional climate you create within your body. Every moment of your life, you are either contributing to your vitality or detracting from it through the quality of your inner experience. Your cells are listening to your thoughts, responding to your emotions, adapting to the story you tell yourself about who you are and what is possible. Notice what happens in your body right now as you bring to mind something you are grateful for. Feel the subtle shift in your chest, the softening around your eyes, the sense of expansion that naturally arises. This is not just a pleasant feeling, it is your pharmacy creating molecules of healing and coherence. Your gratitude is literally restructuring your physiology, optimizing the function of every system in your body. Now bring to mind a source of chronic worry or stress in your life. Notice how different molecules begin to flow, how your shoulders might tense, your breathing becomes shallow, your heart rate increases. This is your body producing a different prescription based on the emotional frequency you are broadcasting. You have the power to change this prescription at any moment simply by shifting your inner state. Breathe slowly and deeply 3 times, allowing your nervous system to reset. With each exhale, release any tension or stress you may have stirred up. With each inhale, invite in a sense of peace and well-being. Feel how quickly your internal pharmacy responds to this simple shift in attention. This is the power you have been given, the ability to consciously direct the chemical symphony playing within your cells. Beneath the story of your life, the narrative of past events and future concerns that occupies so much mental space, there often lies a deeper archaeology of unresolved emotional energy. These are not just memories, but living imprints stored in the very tissues of your body, cellular recordings of experiences that may have occurred decades ago, yet continue to influence your present moment through subtle but persistent biochemical signals. Trauma, whether from a single overwhelming event or accumulated smaller wounds, creates energetic knots in the fabric of your being. These knots represent places where the natural flow of life force became constricted, where experience was too intense to be fully processed and integrated at the time it occurred. Instead of moving through your system like a wave passing through water, the energy of these experiences becomes frozen, crystallized into patterns of tension, hypervigilance, or emotional reactivity. Your body, in its infinite wisdom, stores these energetic imprints not to punish you but to protect you. The cellular memory of past hurt creates early warning systems designed to help you avoid similar experiences in the future. But these protective mechanisms, however well-intentioned, can become prisons that limit your capacity for joy, intimacy, and full aliveness. They create invisible boundaries around your heart, filters through which you perceive new experiences as threats to be avoided, rather than opportunities for growth and connection. The beautiful truth is that the same consciousness that witnessed these experiences as they were being encoded has the power to transform them. Healing happens not by changing the past, which is impossible, but by bringing the light of present moment awareness to the energetic residue that past experiences have left behind. When you meet stored emotional energy with compassionate presence rather than resistance or avoidance, it naturally begins to dissolve and integrate. This process does not require you to relive traumatic experiences or analyze them endlessly. Often the most profound healing occurs through simple presence. By learning to stay present with whatever sensations, emotions, or memories arise without immediately moving to fix, change, or escape them. Your awareness itself has alchemical properties. It can transform lead into gold, suffering into wisdom, wounds into sources of strength and compassion. Begin by simply scanning your body with gentle attention. Notice any areas that feel chronically tight, numb, or energetically dense. These may be places where old emotional energy has taken up residence. Approach these areas not with the intention to make them different, but with the same loving attention you might offer a frightened child. Breathe into these spaces, sending them the message that they are safe to release whatever they have been holding. Sometimes, as you bring awareness to these places, emotions may arise, sadness, anger, fear, or grief that seem to come from nowhere. This is not a sign that something is wrong. It is evidence that the healing process is beginning. These emotions are not new problems, but old energies that are finally safe enough to move through your system and complete their natural cycle of expression and release. The key is to neither suppress these emotions nor become overwhelmed by them. Instead, you learn to be with them the way a compassionate parent would be with a child who is crying, present, accepting, allowing the energy to move while providing a stable contour, inner of love and awareness. As you practice this quality of presence, you may notice that emotions which once felt permanent and defining begin to feel more like weather patterns, intense perhaps, but temporary and always changing. Your nervous system has an innate capacity for healing that becomes activated when you feel truly safe. This safety is not about external circumstances, but about the internal environment you create through self-compassion and presence. When your nervous system receives consistent signals of safety through conscious breathing, gentle movement, loving touch, or simply the quality of your own self-regard, it naturally begins to release old patterns of protection and return to its baseline state of calm alertness. As layers of stored emotional energy dissolve, you may discover aspects of yourself that have been buried for years or even decades. Spontaneous joy may bubble up from nowhere. Creativity that was suppressed by old fears may suddenly flourish. Relationships may deepen as walls around your heart dissolve and you become capable of greater intimacy and authenticity. This is not becoming someone new. It is returning to who you have always been beneath the accumulation of protective strategies and defensive patterns. Place both hands on your heart and take several slow, deep breaths. Feel into the possibility that your heart is infinitely spacious, capable of holding even the most difficult emotions with love and acceptance. Send yourself the message that whatever needs to be felt and released is welcome to move through you. Trust in the wisdom of your own healing process, knowing that your consciousness has the power to transform any experience into greater wholeness and freedom. True intention is not about wanting something you do not have. It is about recognizing what you already are and allowing that recognition to express itself through form. Most of what we call intention is actually desire disguised as spiritual practice, the ego's attempt to acquire external validation for an internal sense of lack. But sacred intention emerges from wholeness, not from emptiness. It flows from the understanding that you are already complete and seeks only to share that completeness with the world. When you operate from sacred intention, you are not trying to get something from the universe. You are offering something to it. You become a conduit through which consciousness expresses its infinite creativity. Your intentions align with the deeper intelligence that moves the stars and grows the flowers, becoming less about personal will and more about surrendering to the will of the whole. This is the difference between forcing and allowing, between manipulation and manifestation. The process begins with distinguishing between what you want and what you are. What you want typically involves acquiring something external, a relationship, a career change, a healing, a material object. What you are is the awareness that can experience satisfaction whether or not these external things manifest. When your intentions arise from what you are rather than what you want, they carry a different energetic nature. They become expressions of love rather than attempts to fill a void. Sacred intention also requires the wisdom of detachment, not indifference to outcomes, but freedom from the compulsive need for outcomes to unfold in specific ways. When you're attached to results, you create energetic resistance that actually interferes with manifestation. Your attachment broadcasts the frequency of lack, sending mixed signals to the quantum field. But when you can hold your intentions lightly, like seeds planted in fertile soil, you create the optimal conditions for organic unfolding. This does not mean becoming passive or ceasing to take action. Rather, it means learning to act from inspiration rather than desperation, from clarity rather than confusion, from trust rather than fear. When your actions are aligned with sacred intention, they feel effortless, even when they require great energy. You discover a flow state where your personal will and cosmic will merge into a single movement. Practice this now by bringing to mind something you have been wanting to manifest in your life. Instead of focusing on the absence of this thing, shift your attention to the quality of being that its presence would represent.